bears buried their father in the sand and poured a bucket of water over him. At that moment, a sudden cry of terror struck the man's body, and the tourists scattered in fear. When the siblings came back to look at their father, they were dumbfounded by what they saw. Not only did the father merge with the sand, but the ketchup was pouring out of the sand. The terrified siblings were scared, and they were running away as quickly as possible. 6 months later, the Wolf Squad arrived in time and saw that the man was already dying, and immediately began to rescue her. However, the sand on the man's body was struck by lightning, and the instantaneous heat had burned the sand into glass. The police could only be careful with the excavation, and the man would have been killed on the spot if he hadn't been careful, and 6 months later, the glass was finally cleaned up. However, just then, the police suddenly realized that a piece of glass had been lodged into the man's neck, but luckily, the wound had already scabbed over, otherwise the man would have died. The man would have died, so he was given 20 cents of anesthetic, and a simple bandage was applied. Then the crowd gently lifted the man out of the sand. Before he left, he reassured the children that they were fine, and told them to prepare themselves psychologically. When he was discharged from the hospital, he treated them to fried meat on a rattan cane. That's all for today's story. See you in the next issue.